What's going on YouTube? Today I thought I'd take you guys through the cutting diet that I used to get to the stage and win the 2017 Bodybuilding.com Spokesmodel Search Final. I follow flexible dieting principles, which means for the most part, I can eat largely what I want within moderation. But what I like to do for convenience sake is to operate off a general guideline. We're aiming for 215 grams of protein, 70 grams of fat, and 280 grams of carbs. Today's a low day for me, so let's check it out. I dropped my girlfriend off earlier on. I grabbed myself a cappuccino. I use full cream milk simply because it has a slightly higher fat content, which allows me more room for carbs in other meals and other areas of my day. First things first though, for some of my meals, which I'm going to be eating later on in the day, what I've done is actually start to prepare some foods for that. I've chopped up some pumpkin. Chunks of pumpkin in around 200 to 300 grams. Throw them in the oven on 180 degrees Celsius for around 60 to 75 minutes or until they're looking nice and golden brown. Not that you guys need to know yet, but they're going to feature heavily in meals to come. Okay, so meal one to go with my cappuccino. We're going to go for 200 grams of what is next to no fat yogurt, 70 grams of oats, half a serving of Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard casein. I'm going to finish it off. 30 grams of the sweet stuff. Okay, so first things first, tearing the bowl on the scales. We're going to open up the yogurt. Worst weird. Feels. So spitting out 220 grams. If you guys haven't got a food scale, good luck controlling your body composition to the degree with which you're after. If you want to control the results you're getting, you want to control the food that you're eating so you can actually manipulate what is coming out. If you're not sure what's going in, how do you actively make changes to that? If you guys haven't tried Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Casein Creamy Vanilla in Chobani or Greek yogurt, you're missing out. Tastes genuinely like vanilla ice cream. Half a scoop, because any more in the yogurt tends to get too clunky. The thing about protein powder in yogurt is that it tends to absorb all the moisture, which means if you put too much in, it goes super, super dry. So I'm gonna mix the casein into the yogurt before I add the oats, because as I said, the casein makes it go super sticky. Cool, that's all mixed in. Back on the scale, tearing that. Cheeky 70 grams of oats. Sweet. So you see, I'm not actually cooking my oats. Straight in the yogurt, we're gonna mix them around. Stir them in as well as we possibly can. And again, we're gonna get a nice sticky consistency. So we're not actually cooking the oats, we're just mixing them into the yogurt and allowing them to soak up the moisture of the yogurt so it turns into a really sticky, chewy consistency with the flavor of vanilla ice cream. To finish off, best way to measure how much peanut butter you're getting out, tear the peanut butter. Get another spoon, then all we have to do is grab some peanut butter out of there, reweigh it, and see how much weight is missing. 30 grams of peanut butter. Always make sure to lick the spoon because you don't want to miss out on gains. This is meal one, along with my cappuccino. 8 o'clock this morning, 11 a.m. I'm gonna have my pre-workout meal because in about 90 minutes to 2 hours, I'm gonna hit the gym, and I like to get a good chunk of time between that pre-workout meal and my workout just to make sure that I've got sufficient energy to lift some heavy stuff. Today, super simple, is my favorite pre-workout meal because A, it's delicious, B, very quick to eat, and C, provides me with the energy that I need to get into the gym and get things done. Super simple, we're going Opti Nutrition Gold Standard Whey. I'm gonna go choc malt today. 1.5 serves. So it's gonna end up being about 46 grams of protein powder, which gives me around 30 to 32 grams of protein. And then, the world's best pre-workout food. Nothing better than a Pop-Tart Pump, I promise you that. Today we've got peanut butter and jelly strawberry. I like to be precise. I do weigh it because a rounded scoop is ambiguous as feather scales. I got the protein. Rejoice, the scoop is on top. And then 46 grams. I like it to be nice and thick, which is why I don't put too much water in. Job done. I like to place a lot more emphasis on my pre-workout meal than my post-workout meal, simply because it takes time for the body to digest the food that you're eating. So if you can get a good serve of protein and carbs in, not only are you setting yourself up for a good workout and one that won't likely tap into any muscle mass, you're also going to have protein on tap for when you finish that workout that you're still digesting, which is going to take care of you after you train and help with that muscle breakdown, help with the repair process and starting that as soon as possible after you finish training. This series is the best. Now, I might get some haters here, but I don't like to toast mine. Sorry. I just like to smash them. Time to squat. So I'm back from the gym, just finished training, time for my post-workout meal. Now, as I said before, I like to emphasize my pre-workout meal and get a good chunk of carbs in before I train. I'm not too worried typically about carbs in after I train. Anabolic window is far closer to 24 to 36 hours after you train, not 30 minutes. So don't be too concerned if you can't get carbs in or your daily calories don't allow you to get a good chunk of carbs in after you train. If possible, always prioritize before so you can actually get a decent training session in. That said, what I like to do after my workout is typically eat for volume. When you're cutting, you tend to get hungry. So the problem is we want to make sure we're hitting our macros, but in a way that is also going to contribute to us not feeling hungry and not having huge amounts of cravings and ultimately falling off the wagon. What I like to do for my post-workout meal, I have a workout meal, which is basically my meal prep company. Very basic meals, but very easy to track. They come pre-prepared with macros. It's basically chicken, brown rice, and vegetables, but today I'm gonna substitute the brown rice and I'm gonna throw in some cauliflower rice. Now, if you guys have followed my Snapchat, you've probably seen or heard of cauliflower rice before. Basically just a super low-calorie alternative to actual rice. Essentially rice in cauliflower. I like to mix some broccoli in there too, thank you, Beck, which basically means we get to eat a lot of substance for next to no calories. I think there's like 8 to 10 grams of carbs in an entire head of cauliflower, and we're only gonna be eating half of that. It's a food that's gonna fill you up and keep you full, but it's gonna keep your mind off food. Particularly good if you're really, really low on calories to play with. So if you're a female, or if you're a male that isn't all that heavy, or if you're at the very end stages of a diet, in fact, if you're at a diet at any point in time, this is a perfect food. Modify my workout meal. I'm gonna add some of the pumpkin in that I made before, which is conveniently ready to go. As you guys can see, nice and brown. So, the meal. We're gonna go 200 grams of cauliflower rice, 300 grams of pumpkin, about 1 to 200 grams of broccoli. We're gonna throw 2 laughing cows in along with the chicken and the mixed veg from the workout meal. Then I'm gonna top it all off with a buttload of tomato sauce. So, prepared. We are simply getting the chicken out of the workout meal, which looks gorgeous. I'm actually gonna pop in 150 grams in this meal. The light laughing cow that I mentioned before, there's like almost no calories in these either. If you love cheese, well worth looking into. Salt. Do not be afraid of salt. No need to restrict your sodium intake. I use a no sugar added tomato sauce, again, next to no calories in it, which means I can have more of it without blowing my calories for the day. Now normally, I'll be honest, I don't really log it because, as I said, there's nothing in it. For the sake of the video, going for 80 grams. Cheers. From there, into the microwave, done and dusted. But Nick, how do we make cauliflower rice? I'm glad you asked. Pick 3 things. First of all, food processor or a blender. Cauliflower. With an option of broccoli. I lied. 4 things. Seasoning. First step. Cauliflower, extra large knife. So I've chopped the cauliflower and I've also added in a little bit of broccoli. I do 2 parts cauliflower, 1 part broccoli. Before I begin, you guys should know that this is not my recipe, it's not my creation, it's not even my idea. My lovely girlfriend Beck came up with this concept and it is a lifesaver. As I've already said, there's next to no calories in this. It's the best possible food you could ever hope to get into your diet, particularly the lower your calories are. So if you want more awesome recipes, more awesome food ideas, make sure you follow her YouTube channel as well as her social media. She is full of very intelligent ideas. She makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So once that's chopped up, turn the frying pan on. From there, we're going to grab our food processor and pop in some of the chopped up cauliflower and broccoli. Seasoning, popping a little bit of that in. Just using a basic nutritional yeast seasoning. So we're going to blend it up until it's a fairly fine consistency. Quick trap for young players. The more cauliflower you have, the more moisture there's going to be in there. So if you absolutely chock it full of cauliflower, chances are the blender's not going to work very well. Adding in broccoli helps to eliminate obviously some of that moisture because it hasn't got quite as much in it as cauliflower does. Get a little bit of rice bran oil. I use a spray. I don't log this because I use so little of it. If you guys are being more heavy-handed, then think about logging it. Quick spray on the pan just to lube things up before you throw this into the pan. Make sure it's hot. Not a great cook, but I know that if you throw something in a cold pan, chances are it's not going to turn out as well. So what's the big secret behind cauliflower rice? The secret is there is no secret. Dice a cauliflower, add some broccoli if you want, throw a bit of seasoning in there so it doesn't get too boring, and fry it up in a pan. As soon as it starts moving around a little more freely in the pan, job done, pop it in a container in the fridge. You got a stash of cauliflower rice, baby. You want some? Of course you do. So, time for dinner now. This meal is fairly similar to the last meal, except I'm going to change up my protein source. Everything else is basically exactly the same. I'm going to go for another 300 grams of cauliflower rice. I've got 300 grams of pumpkin. I've got another 200 grams of veg, but this time around I'm going to go for some beef mince. Now, I've pre-seasoned some beef mince, just like I did with the cauliflower rice. So I'm going to go for only 150 grams of it. Typically what I'll do is, because this packet is actually 600 grams of ground turkey, for you guys in America, I will cook it all up as one and then simply divide it into 4 what look like equal portions, and then I'll just use that over the space of 4 days. Ultimately, if I track 600 grams over the space of 4 days, even if I am a little bit out from meal to meal, it's going to work out over the course of the day, or course of the week rather. Another quick spray with the rice bran oil again. I don't really log it until I start to really struggle to lose weight, or unless I really absolutely have to tighten things up, like tracking my oil, I'm not going to do it. I would always suggest you diet as flexibly as possible until you have to tighten things up or become more strict with your approach to food. Now again, I'm not much of a cook, but I've learned a few things throughout the course of the food prep that I've done. You're gonna cook mince or ground turkey or ground whatever. Cook it like you would a steak. Flatten it out in the pan, cook one side, flip it over, and then start to chop it up. If you chop it up when it's raw, it sticks to the fork, sticks to the pan. It's a nightmare. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna get the rest of my meal together. So going back to the cauliflower rice that I prepared earlier, starting off here with 300 grams. I should clarify, when I say 300 grams, I measure it or I log it on MyFitnessPal as 300 grams of raw cauliflower. What I'll actually put in there is 200 grams of cooked cauliflower, or prepared earlier. Just gonna chop that up into chunks and throw that in the bowl as well. Another 2 laughing cow cheese triangles. Some broccoli. Straight in the microwave for probably 2 minutes. Moment of truth. So as soon as that's ready, I'll literally partition it out into 4 what look like equal enough serves. And there are my meals, my dinners for the next 4 days. Rounding out today's macros with 2 chocolate paddle pops. Why? Because ice cream is life, and because dieting and eating the food that you love is the secret to sustainability. On the stage for the finals at the Powerbuilding.com spokesmodel search, one of the interesting facts that Steve read out about me was that in the last 4 years, there hadn't been a day that I hadn't had ice cream. Now, while that might have been a little white lie, there would have been probably no more than 10 days in the last 4 years that I haven't eaten ice cream. Seriously. And that's because it's a food that I really love, and the thought of going without it makes my diet far less manageable in the long term. So think about eating foods that you really enjoy, getting them into your diet regularly so that you don't ever experience the cravings that drive you to eat the house down. Trust me, I've been there and I've done that multiple times over. Unfortunately, that's my day of eating over. My targets were 215 grams of protein, 70 grams of fat, and 280 grams of carbs. And I've ended the day hitting my protein and fat bang on, my carbs are 4 grams over. If you can aim to get between 2 to 5 grams within your macro targets, that's as good as you're ever gonna need to be. Consistency over time far outweighs perfection and the pursuit of perfection, because chances are if you set out to be perfect every day, you're probably just gonna set yourself up to failure more often than not. I hope you guys learned something from today's video. Keep in mind that the macro targets that I aim to hit every day are in line with my own goals, my own body composition, and my own activity levels. And the numbers for you in order to experience fat loss might be a little bit different. If you want to learn more about the dieting process though, make sure you grab a copy of my ebook, the If It Fits Your Macros Bible, because that will let you calculate your macros for whatever your goals are, cutting, bulking, and maintaining, as well as take you through every step of the way as far as the dieting process is concerned. There's even a discount in the description section below. If you guys have any questions about the amount of meals I eat, the types of foods I eat, the quantities of the foods, the timing of my meals, anything like that, please pop them down in the description section below. I'd love to answer them all for you. Until next time guys, make sure you follow me on Snapchat, because I post up all the meals that I eat and all of the nutrition advice that I give out, or I could possibly hope to give out, on my Snapchat story every single day. So you don't want to miss out on that. Thanks for watching guys. Peace.